Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show, and welcome to another episode of Line Calligraphy. So far, we have done some Judy script, as Paul Antonio likes to call it. Some very straight up and down calligraphy. And then we've morphed into some more, a little bit of a leany type of calligraphy. And now we're going to go full tilt into the JNB COPPERPLATE graph pad from JNB.com. If you want to find the 55-degree line, all you have to do is take your paper and tilt it sideways. Basically. If you have an 8x11, just take your paper and put each corner, one in your belly button and the opposite corner the farthest away, and that's a 55-degree line. Basically. So, you can also download the 55-degree line and print it out. All you have to do is go to the About section of this video, or the description of this video. And you'll see a link for the basic strokes. You'll see a link for the 55-degree line, slant lines. You'll also see this a link to this Toolart acrylic 55-degree slant line kit and the JNB COPPERPLATE graph pad, along with some paper and other things. So today we're going to be working with the JNB COPPERPLATE graph pad from JNB.com, and we're going to be doing some monoline calligraphy. So, let's get closer so we can see what's happening here. So each of these big squares is an inch, and each of the lines in here is an 1/8 of an inch. So there are 8 spaces tall by 8 spaces wide. And we're going to have these, so we're going to go 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to draw a line all the way across. Okay. Now, we're going to do we're going to start the basic strokes, and then we're going to go into some more complicated strokes. So let's do some basic strokes. Now, when you were doing the upstroke, this is our parabola. Okay. And so we're going to go in the middle of the parabola, and we're going to go in a kind of a semicircle. We're going to do an upstroke. So we're going to do an upstroke. Okay. And then we're going to do a hard downstroke. We're just going to do a straight line. So, upstroke, straight line. Upstroke, straight line. Okay, now we're going to do an overturn. Now this, we're going to do it only about halfway across. We're going to go up on the 55, curve around, and then go right back down on the 55. Okay, I'm going to tilt my camera so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. There. That better? So now when we do the underturn, we're going to do down and up. Okay, now the compound curve is 2 spaces wide, so we're going to go up, around, down, and then around, back, and up. Okay? Now the ascending stem loop starts in the middle, and we're going to go like we're going to go up in this corner. We're going to go up, and then around, and then right down that 55-degree line all the way to the baseline. Okay, now the descending stem loop is the opposite direction, so we're going to start in the middle at the X height, and we're going to go through the baseline, past the first descender to the second descender, around, and then up like we're going towards the middle of the X height. Okay. So you should see kind of an invisible line here and an invisible line here. Okay. The oval, we're going to start in the middle. So these are 4 spaces tall. We're going to start in the middle, and we're going to go up, over, around, down, swoop in, touch the baseline, and come right back up. Now that we've done all of the basic strokes, we're going to talk about some of the more unbasic strokes. The E stroke is kind of like a dash, and then into an oval. The K is like a reverse ascending stem loop with an underturn. An R stroke would be upstroke, and then you see that there's 2 spaces here. You're going to come halfway between those spaces, right above where you stopped your upstroke, and you're going to come down and then into an underturn. Okay, the S stroke is an upstroke, and right in between those, right in between these spaces, right above the top of your upstroke, we're going to start right here, and we're going to curve in, touch that upstroke, curve to the middle, and then we're going to go in, and we're going to make a terminal dot. Okay. The X stroke is kind of a modified overturn. Instead of going down to the baseline, we're going to curve in, and we're going to touch, basically making this like an eyedrop shape. And then we're going to make a C stroke. And the Z stroke is just like this stroke here. So we're going to make teardrop shape, and then we're going to make a descending stem loop that looks kind of like a fish. So I think that now that we have some context for the minuscule letters, let's do some alphabet, shall we? Alright, this is an upstroke, an oval, into an underturn, that's an A, an upstroke, into an ascending stem loop, into an underturn, and an underturn is a B stroke, C stroke is an upstroke, an oval into an underturn, a D stroke is an upstroke, an oval, and an ascending stem loop into an upstroke. Now you notice how I stopped at the quarter height instead of the X height when I went to do a circle. So anytime you have to do an oval, you only have to go up to the halfway point of that oval. Okay, the E stroke is an upstroke, and because it's an E, I'm only doing 1/4 height. I'm going to go out, up, around, and out. Always make sure that you bring all of your letters back up to the X height. This will help later when we're connecting letters. The F stroke is an upstroke, an ascending stem loop into a reverse descending stem loop. Oop, that's one thing that I forgot to talk about. The reverse descending stem loop is just like a descending stem loop. Come down on the opposite side and then just go straight back up. Okay, and then into an upstroke. G, upstroke, because it's going into an oval, only 1/4, oval, descending stem loop, upstroke. H, upstroke, ascending stem loop, compound curve. And the I is pretty simple. It's an upstroke and an underturn and a tittle. Now when you tittle your eyes, make sure you do a small circle so that way people don't mistake it for like a dash or an accident. Make sure you tittle your I's and make sure that you tittle your J's. Upstroke, descending stem loop, and a tittle. Make sure you can fill it in. Just make sure that it's a circle big enough so people know that it's supposed to be a dotted tittle. Okay, K would be an upstroke, ascending stem loop, and a K loop, and then an underturn. So you're going to come up, ascending stem loop, going to make a reverse stem loop, and then we're going to come out about just to the middle of that loop, and then down into an underturn. Okay? An L is an upstroke with an ascending stem loop and an upstroke. Alright, let's skip some down. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 from the bottom of this next bit. Okay, we're going to do M, which is an overturn, and a compound curve. An N is an overturn and a compound curve. O would be an upstroke because it's going into a oval. We're going to stop 1/4 of the way, go up to the X height, around, down, and back up, and then we're going to make a connecting underturn. P would be an upstroke, a full downstroke to the descending line, and then a reverse oval, and an upstroke. The P and the Q are probably one of the most complicated letters. The Q is just like the G, upstroke, oval, descending stem loop, but we're going to do a reverse descending stem loop like the F into an upstroke. Okay, so it should look like that. Alright, the R would be an upstroke, the R stroke into an underturn, S would be the upstroke into an S, terminal dot, T would be an upstroke into a 3/4, between the 3/4 and the full height, before the second, between the first ascender and the second ascender. Down to the baseline, and then into an upstroke. And then you're going to cross between the X height and the first ascender. So all of these letters are going to be basically broken up into eighths or sixteenths. It's kind of complicated. U is an upstroke, an underturn, and an underturn. Kind of looks like a W, but I promise you it's a U. I have also seen people do a compound curve into a down stroke, a full down stroke. A V is a compound curve into a connecting understroke. A W is an upstroke, an underturn, and a connecting underturn. That's another one that we need to talk about, is a connecting underturn. Alright, let's skip some down. Alright. X, we're going to do an overturn, a modified overturn. We're going to come up, come down, and we're going to curve in, and we're going to basically make a teardrop shape. And then we're going to make a C shape. So you can make a modified overturn, a modified compound curve, but it needs to be crossed in the middle. And the only way to do that is by extending it and sometimes you really can't tell what's going on in this type of a situation. It could be an I, it might be a Y somehow, so just try and make sure that when you're writing the X that you either curve it to do the modified overturn, and then a Y is a compound curve, and a descending stem loop, and an upstroke. Z would be a modified overturn just like this one. I call it the Z stroke, and then we're gonna go a modified descending stem loop. We're gonna come down, touch, and come right back up, and we're gonna go towards like we're getting ready to do an upstroke. So, and then into an upstroke. So it should look like a little fish, maybe. Okay. Alright, so now let's talk about some capitals. Capitals. Learn the universal line of beauty. The hard downstroke. The reverse oval. The oval. The horizontal oval. The descending stem loop. The entry compound curve. The spiral. A large spiral. Dang it, excuse me. Most of the capital letters are kind of their own thing. And if you learn them doing cursive, then you should totally know how to do these by now. Let's do the A. So the A would be an universal line of reverse universal line of beauty, a downstroke, around and through. The B, universal line of beauty, reverse oval, reverse oval. C would be a spiral into an upstroke. A D is a universal line of beauty with a long leg, little loop, come up, around, down, and spiral. Or you can do universal line of beauty and a giant reverse oval. This depends on your taste. E, we're going to start at the 3/4 height. We're going to come up, around, spiral in to the X height, and then we're going to spiral out and into the 1/4 height. F, universal line of beauty. Actually, we're going to do universal line of beauty. I'm running out of eraser here. I'm going to do a reverse oval into a hat. And then we're going to cross right at the X height, and we're going to do a little tick down. There's our F. G is a horizontal oval into a vertical oval. So we're going to make a horizontal oval, come up, around, down into a vertical oval, and then come right back up, and then into a descending stem loop, into an upstroke. So the whole thing should look like that. Alright, the H is an entry compound curve, a hard downstroke, another hard downstroke, into and around and through. The I is a spiral starting at the 3/4 height. I'm going to go down to the X height, spiral up to the second ascender, and then do a universal line of beauty through that spiral into a terminal dot. The J is a very large version of the I. We're going to start at the bottom, curve around, go up to the ascender, through the descending stem loop, and then into an upstroke. And that's a J. K is a entry compound curve into a universal line of beauty. We're going to start at the 3/4 height. We're going to go up, down, and in right at the X height, and then we're going to go out, down, and up into an underturn. And there's our K. This is probably one of the wiggliest letters that there is. Okay, let's go down a little ways. And if you have to, you can mark off your X heights by just putting a little X. That if that helps, then that's good. That's how big the X height is. And this is the first ascender, and this is the second ascender. So, L, we're going to start at the second ascender, loop down between the X height and the first ascender, go back up to the second ascender, loop down, universal line of beauty, down to the base line, loop up the first line, and then up into an upstroke. So the whole thing should look like that. Not like that. Alright, the M is an overturn, spiraled overturn, into an overturn, into a compound curve. The N is a spiral into an overturn, into a compound curve. The oval is a start in the middle of your letter, come out and down, touch the baseline, curve around, come back up, and spiral out. P is you're going to start at in the middle of your second ascender, come down universal line of beauty, terminal dot, and then we're going to do a reverse oval. And Q is a giant number 2, only we're going to loop it out. You can also do a Q starting at the baseline, curving up to the first line, making an oval, and then looping out at the bottom. R would be a universal line of beauty, a reverse oval, and a leg. S is kind of an awkward letter, it takes up nearly 3 spaces. So we're going to curve up, go down the universal line of beauty, loop around, come up to the X height, and then loop into the letter. So it should look something like that. T is you start at the top, do universal line of beauty, turn middle dot, reverse oval into a hat. Just like we did with the F. U is a spiral into an underturn, into an underturn. Some people go all the way up. Some people don't. Just depends on your taste. A W is a compound curve into entry universal line of beauty into a reverse universal line of beauty. A W is a reverse oval into a leg. We're going to come up towards the middle. We're going to make a loop and then go right back down. And then we're going to go reverse universal line of beauty into a loop. So the whole thing should look like that. Or I've seen also some people do a compound curve into a straight line, into a universal line of beauty, into a straight line, into a universal line of beauty, into a curve. I've also seen people do spiral into a leg, straight line, wiggle down into a leg. So it really just kind of depends on your taste. Alright, X is you're gonna start on the first ascender. We're gonna do a spiral into a leg, and then we're going to start at the 3/4 height. No, we're going to start at the second ascender, and we're going to curve down, and we're going to make a number 6. So we're basically making kind of a reverse, like a 9 and a 6. So a 9 and a 6. And they should touch sort of in the middle. So like that. Alright, a Y is a reverse oval into an underturn, into a descending stem loop, into an upstroke. A Z is a spiral into a loop, into a descending stem loop, into an upstroke. Okie dokie. I have also seen people go spiral up, over, down, and something like that, with a little wiggle in the middle. Well, now we've done the entire alphabet. Isn't that exciting? I think it's exciting. So now we're going to do some letter writing. Alright, now I think that we've advanced enough so that we can start doing some letter writing. Okay, let's practice connecting the letters. Connecting the letters is the hardest part. Mark off for X height. A. B. B. We're going to make it the other way. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. One, two, three, four. Y. And Z. Alright, let's skip just a little bit up and let's do the capital letters. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. T. U. V. W, X, Y, Z. Alright, now we can start writing some words. The best way to start writing words is to watch a show. I watch shows all the time, and I just start writing whatever's come up, whatever thought comes into my head, and I write it down. So today's lesson is monoline calligraphy. We're going to do M, O, N, O, L, I, N, E, C, A, L, L, I, G, R, A, P, H, Y, some of the most difficult connections you're going to find are going from an H to a Y. You're going to have to do a double overturn, a double compound curve. Over, under, up. Double compound curve. Sometimes you're going to find yourself going from an I to an N. You're going to go a reverse compound curve. And sometimes you're going to do a reverse double compound curve. Underline, overline, or a double underturn. That would be like from an I to a Y, or I can't think of one, but these are some of the super complicated letters that you may run into. An L to a Y also would be an L, underturn, overturn, underturn. So that's another one. And RW is a difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4. R, let's see, W, R is a WR is a difficult. WS, WY, most of the W connections are very difficult. Also, if you want to do from a V to any letter too, because a V is also a compound curve with that connecting underturn. So V, R, V, S, V, Y, things like that. You kind of have to do this small underturn, large underturn, like a mini double underturn. Let's see. G. This is another interesting thing you guys might run into. You're gonna have to go from a descending stem loop into an ascending stem loop. This is kind of a difficult one because you want it to be nice and fluid. You don't want to be all jerky and that's not cute. So you want to have it be nice and fluid. Go from a G to a Y to an L, real smooth like. O is another interesting letter that you might have to connect to, because there's two ways to do an O. There's the up, down, around, and through, or the up, oval, and connecting underturn. And sometimes you'll have to do one giant letter, or two letters in one, so you have to go upstroke, oval, into an underturn, or you might have to do an O to a Y, O, Y. So, or an O to a O to O, a V, O, B, O, C, O, D, O, H, O, M, O, Z, O, O is kind of a fun looking one because it looks like eyes looking at you, and if you plan it just right, you can get them to look like they're really standing out. And sometimes if you go from like one letter into another, you can bounce it all the way down to the baseline for a more dramatic effect. The same goes with OR. O into R, because some people go like that, and that looks kind of funny, I think. So, or questions, comments, concerns, please leave those in the section below. I will try and do my best to answer them. Well, we have really come far. We have learned a lot today. Are you guys following along? Let me know in the comment section below. That is all for today. If you guys have any questions, I would be glad to answer them in tomorrow's video. Alexa, stop. That is all for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed that one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you, and I will be back very soon with another video. So, take care until then. Okay, love you, bye. Have a great day.